Welcome, dear God, to my art lab. I'm going to start an eroteric art session with you. I'm bringing you into the sacred artistic space with me today. And this is a great practice that you can choose to go through daily or once a week, for example, or anytime you desire, because you feel the call from your soul. It's an amazing way actually to stay connected to our soul and to keep receiving guidance from it. This is also a glimpse into what we will be doing in my Inner Oracle in-person retreat, which I will lead in October. So when you feel the call to be in person with me and to stay for a few days, diving, immersing yourself into the sacred practice of eroteric art, you can sign up here below so that you enter the waiting list and I can notify you as soon as I am ready to share all the details with you. So I see you there live in person with me next October this year, of course. And now let's go into the creative space, lit a candle, maybe burn some incense or smudge, sage or whatever you love, and let's dive deep into this eroteric art session. Come with me, let's go. Welcome to this sacred space, my art lab. I'm so happy to have you here today. Let's burn some incense. I have already prepared the space and I smudge a little bit to bless all the tools we have, to bless the space. Wonderful. So I love that you are here with me. This is an eroteric art session. We are going to work with our inner oracle, the oracle of our soul, and this is something that you can experience in a private session with me, which I warmly encourage you to book. The link is below the video when you want to have a one-on-one in-depth work. And this is also to show you something we will go through in the Inner Oracle in-person retreat, which I will lead in October. So for this, when you feel called, there is a link here below as well to join the wait list so that I can notify you, of course, as soon as I'm ready to share more details. So right now, let's dive into this project. What we'll need, it's very simple. A cardboard. This was a piece of a paper box. Very, very simple. You can, choose whatever you prefer as a surface. It can be cardboard, it can be a piece of paper, it can be your journal. Choose. You are the one in charge of this project, so choose your tools. This is the surface anyway. I prefer to have this as my background on the rear. On the rear. So I'm going to stick my magical pieces on this way, on this part, on this side. Then we will need some scrapbooking. For this, I already went through the scrapbooking phase because this is something that may require sometimes hours. I do love to spend, for example, a couple of hours in the evening or in the afternoon as a relaxing practice, and go through my scrapbooking. So I have already gone through that phase and I have already chosen my pieces. The other thing that I do recommend you for this practice is to go with speed. I mean, this is not a practice that requires you to think about what you are doing because you are going intuitively through the session. And this is what I have been doing with the scrapbooking. I set the intention that I wanted to give voice to my soul. I wanted to, to let my soul to show me what is important in this moment for me to witness. And so I already made my choice for what I'm going to stick on this surface. So this is something that I recommend you to do in a very, very fast and easy way, very light-hearted. Choose your pieces and trust your soul. We will need a background and we will need a subject for our oracle. This is going to be our oracle, a kind of card that, of course, for you it can be a painting, or it can be a page of your journal, or it can also be a piece of fabric that you may want to use for another project, such as maybe a pillowcase or whatever. As usual, you are in charge. You are the artist, you are the director, so act accordingly. This is the character that showed up. I had several magazines, and for some reasons my soul was very, very caught from this being, and I felt that she is actually an expression of my soul. I felt that she speaks so loudly to my soul. It is a kind of avatar. I look at her, and the sensation I have is that I am looking at myself in the mirror. So I wanted her to be in my project. And then for the background, which you can lay down before or after, this is totally up to you. I'm showing you how my soul told me to proceed through this session. So I want to stick here first, and I am leaving the frame around here because then I am covering it with other magical pieces. It's spring, and so there are a lot of flowers blooming, and so I have chosen these flowers. I had so many in my magazine, so I'm going to use them as a frame around there. We are going to use some glue as well. I'm using this is a stick glue, but when you are maybe using a canvas or another kind of surface, you may prefer to use a liquid glue, for example. So again, this is your choice. Something that is important for me is to cover the words, because I want this to be without any word at the moment. It's important to work only with images, because like this we can, attune more with our soul. Our soul speaks a language that is different from the spoken one we are used to speak every day. And so this is such a great way, to attune. I want to enjoy every little instant of this session, because this is for me. This is my soul speaking to me. I'm going to leave this here just to give a little change, to the pattern. Yes. I leave that one up for a moment so that I can put this one below it, and this one goes over it. Yeah, just to create a little movement. As said, we don't need to think too much about our moves. So simply go with the flow, just like this. I'm going to cut this one because I only want this flower. Again, this is something that is coming up, you know, as I'm going through the process. So I can put this one here, and this one, let me see, I could put, yes, I'm going to cut this one as well. So go with your flow, trust your instinct. This one, I love to place it here. This one goes here. And I still got these two pieces. I love this here. So I'm going to cut straight here. And I'm going to place it right here. I love it. Ooh, I love it. And there is this little corner here that is calling me. May decide to put this one. So I can use everything I have. Wow. At this point, I love hair. I actually love hair. Wow. I love hair very much. Okay, at this point, we can have a dialogue with what came up for us. There is something that emerged for me in these days. Every now and then I have this call to update and adjust my bio, and of course to review who I am, the things that I have to offer to the world, to, you know, assess and adjust the way, the path of my sacred work to the world, which also mirrors who I am inside myself. I am an evolving, ever-evolving being. And so I do transform. Every day I am a little bit different. Every day, through the day, and from one day to another. So do you imagine in a month, in a year, in 5 years, how many changes are we going through? I was, pondering about who am I? What is it that I am offering with my sacred work? And a word came to me, which is ChangeMaker. The beautiful thing is that I had totally forgotten that I had actually found that word, those two words, change and maker, in one of my scrapbooking just lately, I scrapbook quite often, and so sometimes I cut words, sometimes images, and I had cut those two words because I simply loved how they present them to me. This is the moment to bring them out. And here it is, ChangeMaker. This is the little piece that I had cut some days ago. I do not remember when exactly, but I had this image inside myself. My soul remembered it. I remembered the colors, the background, and I remember those two words. So my soul led me to bring it out. Therefore, I'm going to stick it, ChangeMaker. And I can start this dialogue, what does this mean for me? You can start asking some questions. What are you here to tell me? My goodness, I feel such a great bond with her. She's here so boldly to tell me that I am a change maker. She is inside of me. Look how beautiful and radiant and powerful she is. And also absolutely self-confident. This is what I'm getting as I look at her in the eyes. And I'm also caught by her smile. She's powerful. She's vibrant. She's alive. And she's here to make changes. First of all, deep within herself. And therefore, without herself. She's here to be the catalyst of great changes in the world. She's my muse right now. This is what my soul wanted me to witness. She is inside of me, my ChangeMaker. How powerful is this? So you can sit with your oracle. You can walk with your oracle. You can take a picture and use it as screensaver. You can, just hang it on the wall. You can stick it on the fridge. You can place it in your bedside table. You can also sleep with it below your pillow at night and ask to your oracle to reveal what you desire. So play your magic. You are the director, as said. Therefore, you are the one to choose. Make it yours. Customize it. Here, the only things that you need are a surface, a character, and an environment in which you sense that you want your character to move, to play, and maybe that is the environment from where your character is coming from to say something to you. Words are not strictly necessary. Actually, I encourage you to go without words because images are much more powerful. In my case, this was an exception. It was, instinct. My soul told me this, so I went for it. Enjoy your session. As I said, this can be used as a tutorial. This is also an invitation to go more in depth with me and to have your private eroteric art session, which is a very specific work we do, intense session, longer than this 20-minute video. And then when you desire to be in person with me and to attend my retreat in October this year, the Inner Oracle Retreat, to strengthen the bond with your soul, to receive guidance, to understand how all the answers are within you and how to harness to this power every day, every moment of your life. Well, you can join the waiting list here below. There's a link for it so that I can notify you as soon as I'm ready to share the details. Much love. Enjoy your session from me and my blooming muse. This is all for today. I want to add a little bonus. You can turn your oracle, or you can turn the page of your journal in case you've used a journal, or otherwise you can take a piece of paper and, use it apart from the oracle you have made. Maybe if you have used a canvas or a fabric. So you turn it. And this is the reason why I wanted to stick my pieces on the white surface, because I love so much this surface that looks more like a recycled paper, a little bit more natural, connected to nature. And I am using this surface to write. So I'm going deep in introspection work with my muse, and what she's saying to me, I'm going to write it here. So you can close your eyes, place a hand on your heart, and then receive the message, wherever it is. It doesn't need to have a rational sense. You simply need to write what comes. Otherwise, you can look at your oracle and maybe there is just a quote or maybe there is just a word and you write it here. When you decide to work with your oracle once a day, for example, for the next week, you can go through a bullet list and every day maybe you want to write a sentence, a quote, and then just leave it there, you know. Your soul will tell you when it's time to go to it, to turn it, and to read what you have written.